Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So y'all know I had to get on here and talk about this ridiculous behind attention grabbing scam, if you will, that they called a fight that they arranged between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I knew whenever they first announced this fight that it was not going to go the way people actually thought that it was going to go. And I'm really scratching my head in befuddlement, if you will, at all the people who keep acting so shooketh and surprised that it didn't turn out the way we all know it should have turned out. And it goes for the same with his goofy behind brother. Both of the Paul brothers should have lost in those fights. It does not matter how much older their opponents were. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather were way too experienced to not knock both of them out in a couple of rounds at least. I know nothing of boxing. I'm not a fan of sports at all. Maybe tennis, but that's about it. And even I know that with their sheer experience, they should have laid them out, like I said, within a couple of rounds, if that at all. The only thing that the Paul brothers might have had over their respective and corresponding opponents was maybe a little more stamina because they were younger than their respective corresponding opponents. But even with that, I highly doubt they would have actually won if they would have played this out like an actual boxing match. Now, why do people like to pay to watch people black each other's eyes out? I'll never understand that. Some people like to do it. They like to get beat up for money. Like I said, I'll never understand that. I think it's a brutal sport that does not really need to exist because why? But people will pay to see this happen, and we all know whatever people will pay to see, the raggedy behind industries of this world that are ran by the devil and demons and evil people, they will exploit it to the maximum in any way they can. Now, there were some people, they were saying, oh, we felt like this entire match was completely rigged. They were posting videos of Mike Tyson having a clear shot at Jake Paul's head and missing it intentionally so that he would knock him out and win. In case y'all didn't know, somehow Jake Paul won because of the numbers, if you will. This one person on Twitter, because y'all know I had to go to Twitter. One person tweeted, no matter who wins the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, it's a great example of how the attention economy earns money. The more attention you can get, the more money you can make. And what he said is true. It was all about attention, the capitalization and monetization of that attention. It was a cash grab. They all know, oh, we want to see Mike Tyson. We want to see him beat the brakes off this other kid who came from Vine and YouTube and then decided that he was going to try to be a boxer. Didn't even get a start as a boxer, but just hopped into boxing, which that befuddles me as well. I don't understand how you start from one thing and then you hop down the pipeline to somewhere else where you have no experience in, but all of a sudden now you're a boxer, you're this, you're that. I told y'all, these pipelines, people like to jump through and jump down like Super Mario. Another thing that people were talking about where Jake Paul specifically is concerned is how a lot of people can't stand him. Another reason why a lot of people tune in and they were able to monetize on that attention is because they wanted to see Mike Tyson beat him to a pulp because they couldn't stand him. Monetizing off of somebody's resentment for a public figure, for an internet personality. And sometimes these people will lean into that resentment and do even more crazy stuff or have even more crazy stances and say crazy things, adopt the wildest mentalities so they can get some more of that hatred and resentment to empower themselves, and then they will monetize off of it because a lot of people, even though they say they can't stand them, they be watching them. And it absolutely works, although it's still absolutely ridiculous. I've heard a lot of people say throughout the crazy things that we've seen, cloud is one heck of a UGG. Y'all get what I'm trying to say? The DRUGS. And it certainly is an UGG because only UGGs will have you out here doing crazy stuff and then trying to top that crazy stuff, making yourself look cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and be hated just for more attention for you to capitalize off of. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, another person got on Twitter and posted this, and I quote, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul with the laughing face emoji. And it was a video of two kittens playing patty cake. Because that's exactly what it was. Two people just playing with each other, not actually doing anything serious, not actually fighting seriously. Another person tweeted, and I quote, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, proof that the fight was rigged, fake, and Tyson was holding back throwing the fight for money. Busted, end quote. And they've been circulating this little video. It's been going viral of him, once again, catching this guy with his arms down, not blocking his head. Low-key, he was about to get knocked out, let's just be honest. And you can even see him flinch a little bit, like he was actually concerned that Mike was about to actually hit him. And then as you can see, the punch gets pulled. Now, there's another person on Twitter who added a little bit more to his take. And I quote, proof that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was scripted/rigged. I respect Jake is the business guy who can bring huge numbers and paydays. Not many could say no to $20 million to let him cosplay as a good boxer, so fair play. But reality is any world-class boxer would destroy him even at 50 plus. I told y'all, I don't even know that much about boxing. Too much technique learned over the years. The dodging and counter KO shot becomes muscle memory. For those guys, it's like having a PhD in boxing versus a primary school student. Saw another video of loads of people at the fight leaving the arena saying it was rigged too. Mike holding back big shots the whole fight and biting his glove, fighting one-handed for a challenge. It's funny how easily he could have beaten Jake, even if he's a bit old and slower now. Needs to be more transparency with the contracts, as it makes a mockery of boxing, to be honest. Where's the real fight showing how much an amateur would get schooled by an old pro? Fans would be more impressed by that. End quote. But see, here's the thing. It's not about the fans. It's about what the people who have control, y'all know who I'm talking about. It's about what they want. They knew that this would draw a lot of attention. That's what they wanted, to get people in the building, to get butts in seats, to get attention that they could monetize off of. And that's what they got on top of money from all of that. Now, what happens after that, how everybody feels after that, and the response, those people couldn't care less. And I get that he's saying that it is a mockery to the sport, and I do agree with him on that. But once again, the people in power don't care. Those are the people who would make a difference, and the people who keep paying these people, putting money in their pockets, putting money in the pocket of the industry. The moment y'all are really tired of stuff like this happening, y'all will stop buying tickets to go down there and see them beat each other up. You would actually protest and say, from now on, unless y'all actually do real boxing matches where they fight for real and test each other's strength, we're not giving y'all any publicity, attention. You will not monetize off of us to show us a mockery of a match. But I guess that's too much like right. People just can't handle not being able to have what they want for any amount of time, to put their foot down, have a backbone, and to do what's right. Only to pave a better way and make a better future where all of this is concerned. It's too much like right for our community, for our society, for our world to handle. Once again, I don't understand what people expected. Boxing is one of those sports that's always been controlled to a degree, especially at these higher levels. Did y'all really think the powers that be, if you will, the people in charge, if you will, we're going to let two black men knock out two very internet famous white men? And let's not forget about the fact that they're not even internet famous for the right things. Their morals and what they stand for are about as in the trash as all the other ones of this generation. But if anybody really thought these people who run the industry was going to allow that fight to go the way y'all wanted it to, please think again. Posting tweets and the proof in the form of a video, calling them out, that's great and all. But whenever you put your money where your mouth is, that's when you really have an impact. When you put wise action to how you feel instead of just feeling it and saying something about it, that's when you actually can make a difference. Anyways, like I said, this fight was not about two people who we wanted to see fighting, testing their limits, testing their skills, seeing who could win against who, old school versus new school. This was a cash grab. This was an attempt to get people's attention to monetize off of it. And of course, there are other things at play that people don't want to talk about. how, once again, these industries have always been rigged in certain individuals' favor, and there's always money behind it. Lust, greed for power, money, influence. It's always been like that, and as long as it's gonna be like that, you're gonna have these kind of things happening. Anyways, I didn't want much. Just wanted to get that off my chest. Y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel about all of this down in the comments below, respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.